Welcome back to the Hood Knees Fantasy Football Podcast. This is episode 44. We're doing something a little different this time. We're doing a midweek report for week 10. I got my dogs with me, MFB.
Y'all thought I was gone? We here. We back.
And BBTV.
Don't worry, boys. We still taking applications, bro. So don't trip.
Yeah, for those of you that applied, MFB came back, tail between his legs, you know what I'm saying? He was like, please, I need this. No, we brought him back. We had to. So MFB's back. He's here to stay. Please keep applying, though. We want to see who's actually interested in joining. We've had a good number of applications. Anyways, this episode is going to be a little bit different. Normally, we do a preview of the matchups. This time, we're going to kind of go over some news that happened throughout this week so far, and then kind of talk about some topics that people have questions about, and we have answers, or at least we can discuss it. You guys can listen to what we say. Let's go ahead and get started with Mike Williams from the Jets went to the Steelers. That happened right before the trade deadline Tuesday morning. A lot of trades happened, some relevant, some irrelevant. But how do you guys feel about that?
Personally, I like it a lot because I feel like Mike Williams just wasn't needed in the Jets. You have so many options in the Jets that he just doesn't look good. I'll be honest. A lot of people is like, yo, this dude's washed. He looks trash. But you get to an offense with the Steelers. They don't really have receivers. They have Pickens, and then they have Calvin Austin, but he's like a kick returner, punt returner, so he's not really the guy. And then they have that rookie that isn't really performing. So they need like that other wide receiver to be solid. And I feel like Mike Williams just fits the offense perfect.
Yeah. They definitely really needed a receiver. And there was talks, I don't know if you guys saw that, before the Christian Kirk injury, they were trying to get Christian Kirk. So they kind of been shopping and talking around for a receiver. Now they got Mike Willie, who, I mean, like, to jump it straight into the fantasy impact, I think it kind of helps Pickens. More.
I see it.
And Pickens already been doing really good with Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if anybody, like, I don't know, bought Pickens super low, or you just held on to Pickens for this long, you're probably pretty happy. I think, Mike Willie might get looks here and there during the game, like a long bomb. But for the most part, if Mike Willie's running super vertical, it'll take away, especially versus cover one, Pickens like wide open in man-to-man coverage pretty much. So
yeah, they have a really good matchup or schedule upcoming. They play Baltimore, which is the best matchup for wide receivers, week 11. Then Cleveland, Cincinnati's whatever, Cleveland again. So 3 divisional matchups in the next 5 weeks. And then they play Baltimore again, week 16 in the playoffs. Hopefully you're not depending on Mike Williams in your fantasy playoffs. But either way, good schedule. Good to roster, just to have him, stash him. You're not starting him this week. You're just sitting on the bench and see what he does on your bench.
Yeah, exactly. Stash him.
Jonathon Mingo went to the Cowboys. They need some wide receiver help, I guess. Someone to help Dak. How do we feel about that with no Dak Prescott?
I mean, yeah, with no Dak, Dak's like a whole different thing, right? But with Mingo, I'm kind of like, maybe like they needed to like replace Brandon Cooks. I don't even, what's up with Brandon Cooks? Is he like...
He's on our he had an infection in his knee. He's supposed to be coming back. They haven't opened up his practice window. They haven't like activated him off IR yet.
Yeah. Because I feel like their receiving is fine. CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert's decent. And they got Jake Fergie. So
right.
I'm not like, I don't know like what this signing is about, but Mingo's like a prospect who he looked really good, like in college for sure, but like never just came to fruition at Carolina. Right.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, BBTV?
I was just gonna say, I feel like Mingo is probably not going to be the guy this season, like for like the rest of the season for the Cowboys, because Dak being on IR and Cooper Rush is the quarterback. Like, sure, he could probably can get some looks, but honestly, as crazy as it may sound, this might be a guy to look for in the next season because Brandon Cooks is getting old. Tolbert's kind of whatever. It's just going to be CeeDee Lamb, Jake Fergie, and then Jonathon Mingo. Mingo will be going into his year 3, so he's probably. What I see with Mingo doing is learning that offense, learning how that offense has been working the past like few years, and translating it to his game. And so I wouldn't look at Mingo this season, but next season. That's how I see it.
Is he worth a stash in deeper leagues? Like just hold him and see what happens?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
No. I mean, yeah. So let's get into Dak being on IR. Like, what does that do for the team? What does that do for Jake Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb?
Obviously it's not great, right? Like it's definitely a negative. How negative are we talking, right? I think 2 seasons ago, I wish I could pull up the stats. I don't have it up, but there was like some weeks with Cooper Rush in 2022 where CeeDee was still kind of eating. Saw all the targets, was catching the ball, had a couple TDs, I believe, like in those like 4 to 5 weeks. So like if you look back at that, you're probably a little bit optimistic.
I think CeeDee will do better with Cooper Rush than like Tyreek was doing when Tua left or Tua went on IR. So I think
Cooper Rush is better than any Miami backup. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think Dak being the number one, the only like primary target on that team. I guess Jake Ferguson. It might even help Jake Ferguson, like quick dump offs, just toss to the tight end.
It probably helps Jake Fergie. Yeah, I guess slightly the most. Being the tight end.
Yeah. Just real quick on the stats. From weeks 2 to 6 of 2022, 7 catches, 75 yards. And then like 8 catches, 6 catches, 5 yards, 5 yards, nothing under 60 yards. And he had a couple tutties in there. So it could help CeeDee. Possibly.
You said nothing under 60 yards when you played with Cooper Rush?
Yeah.
Okay.
One game was 53, but he had a tutty.
Okay. So still serviceable. I mean,
serviceable.
Do you think that with this news, Dak going on IR, if people are not doing their research, do you think they go and try and trade for Dak on the low? CeeDee on the low. My apologies. Like with
on
Dak
the low,
on IR,
if you can get him for the low.
Yeah, because if you could okay, how about this? This is an interesting one. Would you give up Garrett Wilson, who's been on fire since Devontae Adams got there, and go get CeeDee?
Not even close.
I was saying hell no.
Not even close.
Like a low key.
Let me give you a better.
I mean, the way G. Wilson been kind of playing right now,
he's on fire. Bro. How about Devontae Adams? Would you give him up?
Not even close.
Really? I would get CeeDee for
Devontae. I would think about. I would think about it.
Let me tell you a crazy scenario.
Okay.
Would you do Marvin Harrison for CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah.
With that week, with that schedule looking good after the bye, rookies tend to do better after the bye. They're trying to make that playoff push. He's got his full lineup.
It depends on my lineup. If I could, if my record's decent enough,
yeah,
and I could serve other. Well, I guess I have a wide receiver already. If my record's decent enough, and I really want, because essentially we're pretty much saying, okay, Dak will be back literally during fantasy playoffs, right?
I think that's what it is. Week 13 of fantasy.
Well, if he started IR this week, it'll be like 13, 14.
Yeah.
So you'll have like a top CeeDee by fantasy playoffs, and you'll probably be pretty happy. Especially if the Cowboys are in a position where like, hey, we need to try to make NFL playoffs.
That's true. So,
yeah, I mean, they're 3-5,
but it could be vice versa too for the Cardinals. So,
Cowboys are 3-5. They're playing against Philadelphia, who's been playing lights out.
Yeah,
they're probably going to be 3-6, right? They play Houston, Washington, who's been on fire. They probably end up at best 4-7. You know what I mean? So I don't really know if they're going to be making that playoff push without Dak and the way the team's looking. So, with the Cardinals on a better kind of on the come up, they're doing a little bit better recently. I think they're 5-4, trying to make that playoff push. That might be a better situation. So I guess if you need the production now, you have Marvin Harrison, you probably just trade for CeeDee Lamb. And if that owner takes it, if they can afford the L's, they can take it.
Yeah. Going back to the stats that BBTV stated, do you think like that'll be replicable this season?
I think so. I think Cooper Rush, they slot him in. They need him to perform. CeeDee's the number one target on that team. He will do it again, especially because they have, the schedule for him right now is not bad. Like, Philly's going to be tough, but it's a divisional game. They have to put points on the board. It's at home. Houston, who's been, able to be thrown on the air. Washington, another divisional game. Giants, another divisional game. And then Cincinnati looks like a prime time, like a Thursday night.
Look, if you want a player that's going to be either one game is going to go crazy and another time is going to go single digits, that's probably going to be CeeDee Lamb for the rest of the season. I don't want that kind of person on my team. So
how about the defense playing a factor, right? Because the defense of Dallas hasn't been great this season.
Yeah.
But the defense 2 years ago was kind of going nuts.
That was the craziest defense I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That was top tier, yeah.
So you don't think that was helping, like, the offense in any way?
Oh, it was significantly helping them because they're getting the ball back so much more that there's so much offensive push, offensive drive that, they could feed players.
I mean, look, I think CD has a safe floor. I think he's got a floor of like, even with Cooper Rush as the quarterback, I think his floor is decent enough that you start him every week, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to give you a bust game like Marvin Harrison Jr. So
pretty much like in a Malik Neighbors situation. He's going to see all the volume.
Yeah.
QB isn't the best, but volume and talent is there.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. On to the next piece of news. Marshall Lattimore from the Saints got traded to Washington. So as a Saints fan, BBTB, how are you feeling?
Thank you for your service, brother. It was a great years having you. Bunch of rivalry, man. Fun to watch him. But I feel like it was for his best interest. He needed to move out of there. The Saints haven't been doing anything the past, or like since Drew Brees retired, and he's just wasting a season. I think he's like 27, 28 right now. So he's getting like older in age. So what you call it? He's going to hop on a really good defense right now and just make it better. What the Saints got out of it is they got 3 picks from it. I think they got a 3rd, 4th, and a 6th, which helps us rebuild for next year. So.
Yeah, this is what we like to call in the 5 stages of grief, acceptance. He's in the acceptance stage. So I think he went through all the grief yesterday and today, and he's on the last stage right now.
Yeah. But watch the defense though, man. Probably going to look nuts right now.
Do you guys know, is Lattimore going to play like next week? Like
I didn't see news on that yet.
My guess is
because Washington plays Pittsburgh, so you might see him on George Pickey.
He got traded on, it was yesterday, Tuesday. So he has a decent amount of time to get like suited up and everything cleared. And
then if we want to talk about the flip side, right? Saints lose Lattimore. They're playing the Falcons. If Drake London healthy, or even, I don't know, no Drake London, Darnell Mooney.
Either one.
Career game loading, maybe. Who knows?
Hey, that's on the starting sits. That's the starting sits episode.
We'll talk about that more. This definitely significantly helps. Well, I wouldn't say significantly. Washington defense has actually been stepping it up lately. So this just gives
that's what I'm saying.
Even more of a boost. So we'll see how that turns out. I would be trying to, who do they play this week? Washington?
They play Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I might. I don't know. I don't know if I would start Washington defense, but they're going to be a good defense going forward, and they have been a good defense. So maybe worth a pickup. On to the next piece of news. Khalil Herbert left Chicago, went to the Bengals. Zach Moss is on IR with a neck injury. So what does this do for Chase Brown? Is it just the backup, or is he going to take work from him?
So I feel like that Chase Brown is like the more elusive, more faster running back. The only thing or just a very fast running back compared to Khalil Herbert. So what I think that the only thing that Herbert could possibly do is poach touchdowns, because that's what he was doing when Swift was on that offense. Or no, not Swift. Montgomery. I'm sorry. When Montgomery was on the offense, Herbert was taking over a little bit, like poaching touchdowns. So I feel like he could also poach touchdowns just so Chase Brown doesn't get hurt or whatever on the goal line. That's my only worry.
Yeah, he actually might play this Thursday night matchup.
I hope he doesn't. Just next week,
Yeah.
I could see what BBTB scenario it pan out. I could see that. But Khalil Herbert's kind of been more so like a pass catching back, like a third down back. From what I remember, that season with Chicago and David Montgomery.
Yeah, but the past season, Roshan Johnson's been the guy though. Like the back, technically the two.
This season, This season, yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't really used Khalil Herbert at all. He's kind of just been chilling.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't worry about Chase Brown. I would stash Khalil Herbert, especially if you're in a deeper league. Pick him up, see what he does.
Yeah,
I mean, if
definitely.
they put him on the goal
Definitely.
line work, yeah, it
Definitely needs to
good
be
amount.
stashed, even as like just purely a handcuff at this point. But we'll see Thursday night like what really pans out. I can't really predict because Cincinnati has been using both backs. It's just we saw this trend of like Zach Moss and Chase Brown, and then just one going up, one going down, and then intersecting, and it became the Chase Brown show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a little
And
bit.
just real quick, I think Zach Moss is droppable, by the way. If you have Zach Moss, drop him.
Yeah, they just placed him on IR.
They mentioned that he may be out for the rest of the regular season, so yeah, maybe droppable at that point. Zadarius Smith went to the Lions. That helps their defense, the defensive tackle, or what position is it?
I think it's a D end.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, helps their defense out, who've also been playing really well. They pretty much shut out Jordan Love. So Lions are making that Super Bowl push.
Yeah. So from an offensive perspective, how do I explain this? Like, if their offense is so good and their defense is so good, they're just going to be winning games like so quickly that the guys can't. Yeah, blowouts. Just like the guys won't be used to their full potential for fantasy. So like, I don't know if I like this trade for them because it obviously helps them, but from a fantasy perspective,
for fantasy,
I don't know if it's like, like obviously, like, you could obviously start Lions D then for like a lot of matches, but Amon Ra might not get much
Lions
work.
D, I'm looking at it in standard Yahoo leagues right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty decent. The lowest, their absolute floor this season was 5 points. That was week 1.
Against the Rams.
Their ceiling was 18 against Dallas when they like steamrolled them.
Yeah.
They got Houston upcoming this week. And I mean, man, I could kind of see the Houston just cracking under the Lions D. Houston, Jacksonville, Colts, Chicago, Green Bay again. That's a nice stretch.
That's good for the Lions D.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice stretch. And nobody has scored like 30 plus on the Lions this season.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good, it's a decent schedule upcoming, but they add, defensive end. It's only going to help their defense, which has already been playing good. So I think, we'll wait and see how it affects their team. It really sucks because if players or if teams are not scoring on them, then the offense doesn't need to move the ball that much. And then it ends up being usually just goes to Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery. So if you have both of them, hopefully they just get more runs out of it. Yeah. If they're blowing teams out by the end of the third quarter, it ruins everyone's fantasy day because they bench everybody. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
We've seen that like twice so far.
Yeah. I have Jahmyr Gibbs, and having him, I'm like, great. Here we go. No points after the third quarter. So that sucks. But anyways, good for the team. Next piece of news: Jonathon Brooks is back. He was activated last week. This is for the Panthers, by the way. If you guys don't know, there's a rookie that he was injured in training camp, if I'm not mistaken. And
he had like a torn ACL literally last year, like a year ago or last December.
Suffered the ACL in his right knee last November 12th in his final collegiate season at Texas.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, they drafted him. They brought him in to hopefully be that guy. Chuba Hubbard's been doing the work right now, so
Chuba says he looked amazing.
Yeah, definitely. He's been activated. He's gonna play in Munich, I guess, in Germany, where they go and play that game against the Giants. I don't expect him to do much. Obviously, you bench him and watch what he does.
For sure bench, especially since the coach didn't commit to whether or not he's playing on Sunday anyway. Okay. So, something to just keep an eye on. Like if the coach says, yeah, he'll be on a snap count, or like, no, we'll put him in, or whatever, right? But naturally, my guess is he'll be on a snap count if he does play, or he just doesn't play yet.
Yeah, I feel like if you stash him too, and somehow he starts like getting more volume, more touches, he could be a sleeper playoff flex or like an RB that if one of your RBs gets injured, because he has a good schedule, week 15, 16, and 17. And, you know, he could just be a solid player that might help you, you know? So I'd feel like you just stash him if you can, or trade for him, like for something small.
I could definitely see them like not playing him this week since they have a bye week 11.
Yeah.
But then, oh boy, his first NFL game against Kansas City.
Yeah, good luck.
So
good luck.
Yeah, I would not play him.
But no, honestly, if Chiefs are blowing him out though, like think about it logically, they're blowing out the Panthers. Brooks might get like, yo, the coach might be like, yo, go get some snaps in real quick against a fire defense. So
do you want to risk that though in a situation where like would you be willing to bring him into your lineup? You know what I mean?
I would not risk that.
That may be like that. That's a best case scenario for him. I would be looking to avoid starting him.
Yeah.
This week and then after the bye when he plays Kansas City. But yeah, look out. Hopefully, if you have Chuba, you might be looking to ship him off. You have a bye week next week, and then they play Kansas City, and then as they work Jonathon Brooks in, it could impact him. So who knows? We'll kind of see what happens this weekend, or on the game, and then we'll kind of make your own decision from there. Next piece of news: Olave possibly going to IR after that concussion.
Mm-hmm.
He got
poor guy, man. Poor guy.
Is this like his 4th or 5th concussion in the last 2 or 3 years or something like that?
This is his 5th documented concussion in the past few seasons that he's played. That is crazy.
Okay. Damn, bro.
5th.
Yeah, apparently there's rumors that like he might just stop playing or something.
Yeah.
Like he's seeing some specialist somewhere. That's what people are saying. And then there's also like the IR rumors going about as well.
He doesn't want to play for the Saints so badly, man.
Yeah.
He's thinking about quitting football.
No, I feel like he shouldn't quit football, but I feel like he just goes to a different team. Like, and I'm a Saints fan.
Bro, but if as just a human being, as a football player actually in this situation, and you've seen other football players that have had bad concussions, and like who knows how he felt when he like woke up. He probably woke up, was like, what the hell just happened to me? You know what I mean? And he's like, dude, this is scary. You know what I mean? And he's seen, I mean, bro, you look to Antonio Brown, bro. Look at the way he is, the way he acts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For how many times he got hit. It's like, you don't want that to be you. And then after we saw what happened to Tua and his like hands curling out, it's freaky, man. So like, just as a football player who's seen what's happened to other football players, it's scary stuff. So all the best to him. You know, if he decides to quit football and does what's best for himself, then it's good for him, man, honestly.
Man,
yeah.
So but with this offense now, like, who are you looking to? Because, man, I was so hyped for this offense, like, preseason.
Yeah.
And I remember back, like, in the early episodes, we were talking about it, and I was hyped for the offense. I was hyped for Olave. Shaheed was balling, bro.
Yeah.
Now it just fell apart, bro. I'd be depressed if I was a Saints fan.
Well, man, I'm pretty proud when I'm a Saints fan.
He's saying depressed.
He's saying deep.
Oh,
depressed, bro. Depressed and deep.
Yeah.
Upset, sad, everything.
Yeah. But I'd look at Taysom Hill, man.
Taysom Hill, bro. Hey.
Swiss Army knife.
Kind of like being worked in, bro.
Yeah. In the formats, I think most formats have him as tight end QB. You want to plug him into your tight end position. If he's not listed as a tight end, then sucks. Don't play him as your QB.
Bro, he's about to take Derek Carr's spot right now, bro.
They give him a lot of like the tush pushes. If they're on the 1 yard line, they slot him in, just go whoop, just slide in,
bro.
You know
and even recently, he's been getting some good targets, bro. Last week he got 18% target share. That's a season high.
Hey, bro.
I would even go as far to say maybe he's just like the weekly plug and play, bro.
100%.
Yeah, that offense needs some spark, something somewhere. So definitely.
If you're using Yahoo tight end position, 100%. If you're using, I think, other apps that just only have him as a QB, I would not put him at the QB position. But
no, there's definitely better QBs.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely a solid option. I mean, Kamara, I don't know what happens. There's no offense, so like
no, Kamara's still going to eat.
No, for sure.
He's still going to eat.
Without Olave there to open up the run game, like there's no receivers to open it up. You know what I mean? So,
no, it doesn't matter. Kamara's so much of a dog that he doesn't need that. I think they fed him over 20 plus rushing attempts. Like I think he had like one of like obviously besides week 2, but I think he had a crazy game last week with over 200 scrimmage yards. Let me check.
He did. But I mean, against Denver, 7 attempts, 10 yards, and then 6 catches.
That was just a bad game. That was a Thursday night game. That was just a bad game.
Kansas City also shut him out.
But think about it though. After the bye week, though, bro, like look at that schedule.
I'm not saying that Kamara can't get it done. I'm just saying it doesn't help him. This doesn't help. This isn't like, oh, there's so much less weapons. There's so many less weapons now. It's all him. Like it's actually kind of the opposite because, well, not the exact opposite, but yeah, it doesn't benefit him.
Yeah.
Actually, probably likely kind of makes it worse for him. But anyways, we'll see. Let's talk about Tampa Bay, the backfield situation, the 3-headed backfield. It's getting a little bit messy.
Yeah, man. Something that you don't want to see ever as a manager. 3 different backs. Sorry. They're all just eating into each other's workload. Like, I don't know what's going on. Rachaad White's running back rush share has dipped the past 3 weeks steadily. Last week, Sean Tucker came out again, saw over 20% of the running back rushes. Like, I don't know. Like, was it just because they played prime time against the Chiefs?
A tough rush defense, right?
Like, if y'all got any bold, crazy predictions, throw them out.
They have some great matchups end of season, rest of the season, actually, after the bye. They play the Giants,
then it's like,
Carolina.
But it's like, who do you play, though, bruh?
I think in these situations where they're not, like, whether they're not getting success or whatever, they start to mix some Sean Tucker in. Or if they're just killing it, like they destroyed the Saints, they threw Sean Tucker in, let him go to work. Come on, BBT.
Why's it got to be the Saints, though? Like, why does it gotta be
They did. They destroyed them, bro.
I understand.
It was 51-27.
But I get it.
Sean Tucker had a great game. But other than that, he is eating into their workload. But they play the Giants, they play Carolina, they play Vegas. The only tough matchup is week 1 of playoffs, which is the Chargers. That one, good luck. But then they play Dallas and Carolina again. Last 2 games of the fantasy playoffs, week 16 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty solid. I think Bucky and Rachaad White are both going to be serviceable. I would, if you can give up a little bit, I would try to get one of them, like probably when they go on by.
Yeah, I'm very torn. Like, if I were to try to give some impartial advice, like, it's tough. As a talent, like pure RB talent, I like Bucky the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he has that toe, like he's dealing with some toe issue.
Mm-hmm.
Which they said, like, yo, he's just gonna like practice and play through it for the rest of the season. But who knows? Like, man, bro, he might just get one bat stepped on one time and he can't play, bro. And that's gonna be Rachaad White. So that's what kind of makes me like also like Rachaad White more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this: they haven't been producing like Bucky. Rachaad White got the touchdown last week against Kansas City, so that saved his day. But Bucky hasn't. He didn't do well against Kansas City. If he doesn't do well against SF, and then he has the bye week, and someone's looking for production, would you trade away Javonte, who has a terrible schedule? I mean, they're playing Kansas City this week. He's gonna have a bad week probably. They play Atlanta, which is not bad. Vegas, which is good. Then they play Cleveland, which is tough. Then he has a bye, and then Colts, Chargers, Cincinnati the last 2 weeks in the fantasy playoffs. I'd probably rather have Bucky Irving than Javonte, to be honest with you.
I don't know, because Javonte looks more like the more RB1 than like Rachaad White. Rachaad White doesn't look like the RB1.
He does, yeah, but my only worry is also the Denver coach was kind of talking up Audric Estime,
the rookie.
So that also makes me a little bit worried about.
He's a rookie that he had five attempts last week for 35 yards.
Oh,
so he had like seven yards of carry.
Yeah. Honestly, as a fantasy owner, just try to have one of those on your team. If you need a desperation RB, obviously you play him. If not, I hate to talk about this, but if one gets injured, then the other guy becomes solidified. So,
yeah.
So they're matchup dependent.
Or if one gets hurt, dependent.
Or if one gets hurt. All right. If
but it's a good matchup, that offense was so kind of strange. Like last week in the game, I don't know if you guys were watching. Mm-hmm. Like Baker didn't throw a pass to a receiver until like the third quarter. Like didn't even attempt to pass at a receiver.
Yeah, it
I
was all going
swear.
to tight end. It was all going to tight end, and then
It was purely like tight end or RB, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Oh
That's it.
wow.
So
Yeah,
I don't know if that
Kadon-
was just because like Kansas City D, like McDuffie just clamping, or because I
that
mean
was
they're
just-
against like backup receivers essentially, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the Tampa offensive coordinators kind of scheming some stuff up, and that's just how they decided to scheme it up against Kansas City.
Yeah.
I mean, they tied them. You know what I mean? They went to overtime. So,
Yeah.
anyways, let's move on to the other side. The Chiefs. DeAndre Hopkins last game had a great game. Showed up in the studs list for the wide receivers. How do you guys see him progressing?
This is one guy where if you could buy him at a decent price, I'm saying go get him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's
Easily.
I'm pretty like high on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, D-Hop looks like D-Hop right now, dude. Like that, or we're just
you don't
it was that
say.
performance, but no, I'm saying, bro, I'm looking at on Tennessee the past 2 years. You look trash. Obviously, no quarterback, like not a good offensive coordinator, and now he has obviously top 3 quarterback in football right now, and so he just looks like a stud. So, yeah, D-Hop's going to keep producing.
I'm incredibly high on D-Hop for sure.
They play Denver and Buffalo the next 2 weeks, and those are both
Don't matter, bro.
matchups.
Pat Surtain's a fraud.
He got exposed last week.
We got exposed.
I would try to see what his value is now if you ask the owner and see what you can get out of him. If the owner is like, no, I'm super high on D-Hop, I'm not getting rid of him. Maybe you can wait till these next 2 weeks, tough matchups for him, and see if he doesn't produce. If he doesn't, or doesn't do enough, then you can say, hey, look, bro, come on, I'll take him off your hands. You know what I mean?
Honestly, as crazy as it may sound, I might overpay for D-Hop if I can get him on my team. Like an overpay that I'm thinking is like DK Metcalf. I would give up DK Metcalf. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a little bit wild.
Crazy,
that's a
D,
little bit wild, but I'm not like that far off with you.
Okay. Hey,
like that's how much of an overpay that I'd do it for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember when I talked about DeAndre Hopkins going to the Chiefs and you were like, bro, he's old, he's washed.
No. I didn't say that. I said that helps Kelsey out significantly. And it's also helped out Kelsey out tremendously.
It has. You're not wrong. Yeah, Kelsey's definitely picked it up. But he does have 2 tough matchups upcoming. His playoff schedule looks good. Cleveland, Houston, Pittsburgh's not so good, but
okay,
Patrick
so
Mahomes doesn't matter.
Sorry, this is interesting. So you would give DK Metcalf. Let's see where it stops for you, bro. Would you give Drake London?
No.
Okay. All right.
DK is the upper echelon. Like, you don't get much higher than that. Like, I would not.
Yeah.
I would be
okay.
very...
Kimo wouldn't do DK. Kimo, would you do Devontae Adams?
Bro. Did they have their bye yet, the Jets?
No, I don't believe so.
I would do for D-Hop, man. That's a toss up to me. I would have to look at the schedule.
Would you do Pickens?
Pickens for DeAndre Hopkins? Yeah, I'd do Pickens for D-Hop.
Okay.
They just added.
So you wouldn't do Devontae Adams?
No, this is a toss up for me. I will say no right now.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans for D-Hop. Man.
That's a tough one.
The hamstring.
I'd probably do Mike Evans for D-Hop.
Bro, that to me is so tough. Yeah, I'll do it, bro. Forget it.
I just think this is going to be a dog, man. They're feeding that dude. Who else is there? Worthy ain't that dude. And then Kelsey.
Well, they haven't. Yeah, they've been without Juju Smith, but I don't think he's been doing anything. He would have done anything anyways. But I mean, still, that's something. That's a target that's going to go somewhere else. So,
and the thing is, with his matchups, like I'm looking at his matchups right now, like those teams that he's playing against are actually solid, and so they might put up a fight. So it might not just be blowout games, or like Patrick Mahomes needed to play every single. You know what I mean? It's like he had to play 100%. Not just handing it off to the running back or some BS kind of plays. He was playing, and then Patrick Mahomes finally produced. So I feel like for the rest of the season, Patrick Mahomes going to be on his A game, which is obviously going to make D-Hop be on his game. So that's why I'm high on him.
The only issue I have with D-Hop is that the Chiefs are what? 8-0? They haven't lost the game?
They haven't lost the game.
So like they're going to be top. You know what I mean? They're not going to need to play their starters the last few weeks. So the fantasy championship, you might not have D-Hop. You know what I mean?
But there's 3 teams they could still potentially lose to, dude. They got Buffalo still. They can lose to Buffalo.
Patrick Mahomes kind of owns Josh Allen, I'm going to be honest.
But I'm just saying, though, they could, though. Buffalo looks nuts.
I don't think Josh Allen's beat Mahomes once.
Oh, that's crazy. But
yeah,
this could be the season.
Beat him. Yeah, all right.
This could be the season, though.
Right. And playoffs.
For sure playoffs. For sure playoffs. I know that. We see that every year.
Look it up. BBTV. Get your little calculator or whatever. Look it up. Anyways, let's go ahead and move. But check it out. But let's move on. But look it up for right now. But we're going to move on to Jayden Reed, who the last few weeks hasn't looked like he did the first few weeks. And so should you be panicking? Should you be worried?
Definitely like maybe a slight panic. Okay. So whereas D-Hop was like my big buy of the week.
Yeah.
Because D-Hop, bro, he's seeing like 21% target share. Very solid. Jayden Reed is my sell of the week. His target share hasn't hit 20% in 4 weeks in a row. 4 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's tough.
Not good, bro. Not a good sign.
He's starting to look like what we talked. Not starting to look like. How do I explain this? When in the preseason we talked about Jordan Love's going to be kind of sharing the love. Jordan Love's going to be, sharing it to all his players. And so he's going to be spreading it out. No one's really going to be that number one. 1 week it'll be one guy. 1 week it'll be another guy. Right. And Jayden Reed looked like that guy week 1. And then week 4, when I think Jordan Love came back, they played Minnesota, did it again, had, a touchdown and 139 yards. And then the game against Detroit was his 3rd game with 100 yards. They play Chicago, SF, Miami. But the last 4 games of the season, Detroit, Seattle, Saints, Minnesota are all very good matchups. So if you can hold him through the next couple matchups, especially against Chicago this week, they're on bye this week, next week. If you can hold him through the bye, Chicago, SF, Miami, I think he would be a very good play, like in the playoffs. So that's my opinion. I wouldn't be looking to sell unless someone is looking for that playoff push and they're trying to offload somebody that they don't need right now, or, a team that's doing a lot better. Maybe you could sell it to him. But
I think I would kind of be on the side to sell him.
Okay.
And obviously not advertise to people like, yo, he's on clearance, but I'd kind of be down to sell him for lower. You know what I mean?
Oh, really? I would just advertise his playoff schedule. Like, dude, look at that playoff schedule. It doesn't get better than that. Like,
maybe, I guess. Would you trade Jayden Reed for DJ Moore?
No.
Yeah, DJ Moore has a good schedule, man. I think so.
I'm keeping Reed.
Really?
Yeah.
Jayden Reed for Brian Thomas.
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Okay. I would do it for DJ Moore.
Okay.
Real quick, would you do it for D-Hop?
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Okay.
Dunzo.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Bro, we said Mike Evans. Come on. But Jayden Reed, you can advertise to people like, look, dude, he's got one of the best postseason. I mean, the fantasy playoff schedules that out there. So I would definitely swing that in the trade. Let's move on. Tyrone Tracy, the RB1 now for the Giants. Is Singletary droppable? What do you do, Singletary?
Handcuff.
Not droppable, but yeah, I pretty much turn it to a handcuff.
What if
I can't recall a situation where I've seen that ever, really, right? Where the handcuff literally, not even injury related, just gets the job.
And then the starter becomes the handcuff.
Yeah, and the starter becomes the handcuff.
Crazy. I mean,
we saw it. It was James Cook. When it was James Cook, Zach Moss, James Cook took over when Zach Moss was the guy, and then they got rid of Zach Moss Remember I was so high on Zach
last year?
No,
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
Literally, they didn't need, Zach Moss started off the season. James Cook took over, and they traded Zach Moss away. So I think Indianapolis.
Either
Colts.
way,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
I'm saying, obviously, it's a rare scenario, but I'm just saying that's the last time we saw him.
But yeah, even week 9, Tyrone Tracy, he still saw 70% of the RB rush share, bro. Like he's the guy. He is like possibly league winner type of potential. I'm not gonna lie.
If he, I mean,
that's
if you
a
got him
pickup
off
where,
waivers,
like, it did you well.
100%. He's one of probably the better. I mean, J.K. Dobbins probably the waiver wire pickup. If he was on waivers in your league in week 1, but this is like a mid-season pickup on a bad offense that people are probably skeptical, like, oh, I don't even want to pick this guy up. But we brought him up in our waiver episode. We brought him up, I think, in 2 episodes because we were like, guys, he's still under 50% rostered for some reason. And then now he's, rostered everywhere. So
and just real quick, a little off track. Josh Allen is 3-1 against the Chiefs in the regular season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna say I don't like they for sure beat the Chiefs before in regular season.
Yes,
postseason then. Postseason, I was thinking.
Yeah.
So out of including the postseason, Patrick Mahomes has won 4 and Josh Allen has won 3.
Okay, it's postseason then. I'm tripping. My mistake. Take that back.
Yeah. Right, next time, man.
Next time I will. For sure. Next time. Yeah, the Giants play Carolina. Then they have the bye. They play Tampa, Dallas, Saints. All good matchups for running back.
That's fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, he should be lock and load for all those games. Yeah, if you have him,
Look, brother.
Great.
What's a podcast video without a BBTB hot take?
What's
not a good video? So let me tell you the hot take. The hot take is Giants are going to turn around their season starting this week. They're going to win this week, and they're just going to go on run, cousin. That offense is going to start to click. Neighbors, I'm finally might start believing Neighbors might be that dude. I feel like the Giants is going to be solid. Daniel Jones going to pick it up. That's BBTB hot take.
We're going to have to, someone bookmark this so we can come back. Everyone listening, if you're listening to the episode, if you got this far, you're still here, and you hear this take, for those listening, bookmark this and bring it up and let us know later. Put it in the comments. Be like, yo, what were you saying about that Giants offense? Because they are not.
Hey, what's the statistic? Y'all see the memes of like the last time Daniel Jones threw a TD at home? Or like
he did it.
He did it though.
Yeah, he did it. He threw it to the tight end.
Oh, he finally did. Okay,
yeah,
okay. Bro, it was like Obama's river president.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it was crazy. He had not thrown a touchdown in like.
It's stupid. Bro. It was like Neighbors like a sophomore or something in college. I was like, damn, bro.
Yeah, crazy. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it had been forever, but he finally broke it.
Some fun fact. Not really a crazy fun fact. Giants are 0-5 right now at home.
Man.
They play away. They play Carolina away, so should be a lock.
Yeah.
Way in Germany, but yeah.
I guess, yeah. I don't know that.
If they lose to the Panthers, BBTB, do you take back your hot take?
100%.
If they somehow lose to the Panthers,
throw the hot take in the trash, please.
Hey, bro, the Saints did it. So if the Saints did it, the Giants can do it too.
These last 8 games, I have them for sure. Like, I think so. I think they go 5-3, maybe 6-2. These last 8 games.
I mean, Neighbors owners like to see it. Would you go?
That's like playoff contention.
And give
Giants,
up,
then, bro.
Would you go give up a lot to get Neighbors on your team? Then, if they're gonna make a comeback, it's with him. Or are you like
decent amount?
Yeah, I would, because regardless, he's gonna see targets. So yeah, I would.
Okay.
Speaking of this division, right? It's Commanders are at the top. They're 4-0 at home, and they play Steelers at home. So Steelers could break the streak, maybe could not break it. Who knows?
It'll be a tough matchup. But the Eagles, Eagles are killing it too.
That boy, Jayden Daniels.
Yeah. Let's move on from the Giants. Enough about them. Thank you, BBTV, for the hot take. We need those at least once every episode. On to the last topic of this episode.
Last topic. New segment of the show. Slammy statistic of the week, boy. All right. Y'all ready for this?
I like that.
Give it to us.
So far this season,
Pause.
Kansas City gives 9.4 fewer points to RBs on average.
So don't play your RBs against Kansas City.
Yeah, I was like, is that how you're going to go the next one?
Yeah.
Well, so are you
The
saying,
next
so
one.
that's 9.4, wait, that's 9.4 fewer points to the RBs in total, like average number of points given to a team. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, given
So like that RB should be dropping like single digit. Like if you got a decent / solid RB, the homie's not getting more than 10. Unless
Rashad White saved his week last week with a touchdown. He didn't have that. He would have been boof.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's an average, right? So some players might break it, but some players are obviously dedicated, or like applying it.
The stats
on the other side of it, right? Carolina is allowing 8.6 more points on average
to running backs.
Yep,
so,
to RBs.
What you trying to say? If you have Tyrone Tracy, that man is hitting over on everything.
Stupid. He might hit a 25er this week.
Yeah. Tyrone Tracy over, bro. Long story short.
And the over. Bro, I need to see that, bro. I hope, you know what sucks though, is that people that have been going to like London or whatever, all these overseas games, players have been getting sick. Like, it's just like, I don't know who got sick. Who was it? I think Demario Douglas, when he played against Jacksonville, got sick that game. So he didn't play like the second half or something. And then there was another player that also got sick. I can't think of it, but either way, hopefully he's healthy and he doesn't get sick, because that would really suck. He plays like 5 snaps and goes, "Oh, I'm not feeling well," and just like leaves the field. It'd be very upsetting if you have him. So hopefully he's healthy when he plays the whole game. If he does, it should be a good game for him.
Yeah.
On the other side, we're talking about Kansas City. Javonte plays Kansas City this week. Do you sit that player?
Whoa. That's in the starting sit episode, brother.
I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
You jumping into like the net, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, try to look for alternatives. You're playing against Kansas City for your running backs. They can still get it done if you get a touchdown. We saw Rashad White do it last week. But the stats are there from MFB. Do what you want with that information. That does it for this episode. BBTV, do you have any other hot takes?
No, that's it.
Okay, just one. All right, we'll take
just one.
That'll do it for this episode. Let us know, guys. Comment on the episode. See if you guys like it more than the weekly matchups. Keep us posted. We want to hear you guys' feedback. It helps us to kind of make these episodes how you guys want it. We do it for the listeners, all 3 of you. So please let us know how you guys, if you guys like this format, if you want to start the matchups again, let us know. We do it for you guys. So see you guys in the next episode. Starts and sits of the week. And BBTV gives another hot take. We'll see you guys. Peace.
Peace.